Can't get enough sports shorts? Tune into Sports Shorts TV on Cox HD Channel 1013 Mondays at 8, Tuesdays at 9, and ETEL Channel 4. That's 52 weeks a year to get educated on sports by the best. Joel Davis and Ronnie Rantz.
Over in Lafayette, served in the Navy in the late 60s, early 70s, so happy Memorial Day to all the veterans. Did you serve, Joel?
Came pretty close.
Really? Was that your choice or the judges?
Well, it went down to New Orleans for the pre-exam and the test, the urine test. And as I was...
There's some things in there?
No.
Okay, just checking.
No, so as I'm doing the test, they asked me, hey, have you ever had surgery? And I'm like, well, yeah, I did, as a matter of fact. And they said, well, we need that information. Apparently, I didn't put that on the original documentation before I went down there, right? But I kind of fessed up when I was there. Had a little hernia surgery that I'd forgotten about. And so they sent me home to get the information and never went back.
So you signed up. You were going to join the military on your own?
Joining the Marines.
On your own decision? This wasn't like, hey, to stay out of jail?
Yeah, because I'd failed out of school.
Okay.
My first semester of college, I'd failed out. And Mom kicked me out, locked the door, changed the locks, had nowhere to go.
This was at Southeastern?
This was, well, 1988, my first semester in college, and then went back. I didn't know what I was going to do, right? So yeah, I'm going to join the military, make some money, travel the world, whatever, and God bless anybody.
You might have been in a storm. You might have been in Desert Storm, Kev.
Oh no, I totally would have been.
You'd have been like a 3-year veteran. Maybe you'd have been in storm.
No, and who knows what life would have given me. So, look, God bless it. My nephew is a Marine right now. One of my best friends, Mark Wagelstein, who is, by the way, in the LSU Hall of Fame, Military Hall of Fame.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I got to go to his Hall of Fame induction and all that stuff. I was a guest there, and he's tremendous. I mean, I have more respect. My father was in the military. My grandfather was in the military. Most people before us were in the military at some point. Today is just a different world.
Army,
man.
Navy, Marines, what were they?
My father was in the Army. I'm not sure what my grandfather was in, but he did fight in the war, and then, I didn't. And
hang on. Your grandfather was in World War II?
I think he was in World War I.
No, it's not. It's impossible.
It's not
impossible.
No, my grandfather was born in 1898. 1898.
So your grandfather?
My grandfather, because
your pop was very old.
No. My grandfather had my mom when he was like 43 years old.
Okay.
And then, or 43 or 44. So he was old when he had my mom.
Okay.
And then my mom didn't have me until she was 28.
Okay.
So he was in like World War I.
Interesting. Yeah, we forget. You're a lot older than you seem.
I'm 49, Ron. 49.
Well, listen, happy Memorial Day. And by the way, if you're a Twitterer, or even if you're not a Twitterer person, become a Twitterer person. If you follow sports_shorts, okay, which is my Twitter handle, sports_shorts.
Yeah.
There is I retweeted a great national anthem that was done yesterday. Was that you?
I tweeted it. You don't even know that.
You did
I
it also?
tweeted it, and you retweeted it and said, amazing.
Best
minute you ever had.
Yeah. Well, it's been a minute. It was, anyway. Not what I said, but that's regardless.
Something
Best
minute you ever had.
But yesterday at USA Women's Soccer International Friendly, a 96-year-old World War II veteran did the national anthem with a harmonica. And, bro, it was moving.
And look, and I am not even kidding you, dude. When I watched that and listened to it, to know what he did, what he went through, what he did for our country, and then to get on that harmonica and do that, 96 years old, and do that national anthem as well as he did.
Right.
But then the camera angle, the camera kind of scanned the panned out and then panned in about halfway towards the end. I mean, no, halfway, about towards the end. Let's just say the fourth quarter. Let's say the fourth quarter. The camera came in and did a close-up of just his face while he was hitting a very emotional part of the song. I started crying,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
I swear to God, I started crying. It was
pretty
unbelievable.
incredible.
If you don't have a chance to see it, you got to go see it.
Sports_shorts, or give a follow, JD Sports 04.
That's right.
All right, so a lot to get to today.
We can't put that on this show somehow? Can we,
that's way too much prep.
Okay.
So want to let you know on the Sports Shorts, of course, Joel and I in the first half hour. Then we'll have the Bain train. Austin Bain will join us in the second half hour of the show. We'll talk a lot of LSU baseball in the regionals. It did come out, and it's amazing. Pulmonary magic in Hoover is a living, breathing, real thing.
Yeah.
Like it's a real thing. Just as real as you're walking around on this earth. If you're watching this show, you're alive and well. May not be well, but you're alive.
Yeah.
It's a living, breathing thing. You cannot put your finger on it.
Mm-mm.
You can't figure out why. You can't figure out how. But just as sure as the sun's going to come up each morning, LSU baseball is going to play well in Hoover. It's incredible. They did it again. They win 3 games in Hoover. They not only do they solidify a regional spot, they're a 13 seed. We were hoping they would just make sure they became a 16 seed. They go all the way up to 13 seed with some incredible wins. You got to give them credit.
I mean, beating Mississippi State and beating the freshman. With your 10th pitcher. Beating that freshman All-American was pretty impressive. And then run ruling them, you know. And then you could tell in the Vandy game, it was important, but it wasn't that important. It was more like, okay, we've got what we needed. We're not going to improve our standing any better. Even if we win the tournament, we're not going to be a top 8 national seed. And I think Maneri knows that, and I think that he plans for the future. And as much as you want to win the SEC tournament, it's not the ultimate goal. You did what you wanted to do. You knew that you were going to get a regional host by winning those games. And then, it'd be nice if we can go out and win that game, but it's not end-all, be-all against Vanderbilt. And I think that's part of the reason why they got their you-know-what's handed to them. It's because they kind of knew that that's not really important. What's more important is getting as much rest as possible, not burning a bunch of more pitchers that we may need next week or whatever. Well, that would probably be ready. But rest is paramount, especially after the way they got there to that semifinal game. The extra game, they basically played 2 extra games, Ron, if you look at the 17 innings, and then the extra game because they're in the losers bracket. So to me, I mean, I think it was smart, if not on purpose, to not win that Vandy game.
Well, they didn't try to lose it, but at the end of the day,
but I don't think
as it turns out right now, LSU being a 13 seed in the tournament, I think that leads you to believe that the win over Mississippi State wasn't needed on Friday. They won 2 games at the SEC tournament. There's no way that the one win against Mississippi State on Friday in a SEC tournament vaulted them into the regionals and all the way up to a 13 seed. So that tells you, because a lot of people were sweating, well, we might have to win a third. I'm like, wait a minute, let's back up.
Yeah.
In this studio on AFR, Kendall Rogers, Mr. Know-All of college baseball, right? The preeminent one of D1Baseball.com. He said on Matt Moscona's show, not once but twice, that he thought if LSU won 17 games during the regular season in the SEC, that they would host a regional, and he thought even 16 would probably be enough. They go ahead. They go 17-13. They win.
Yeah, but he had also reneged on that.
But that's what I'm saying. My point is that Kendall Rogers, so everybody bases how they feel.
Yeah, it's all prognostication.
What Kendall Rogers says, right?
It's all a guess.
So, but what I'm saying is that this guy, who we put so much emphasis on, he goes and says 17 wins, they're a lock. They get the 17 wins, and then he puts out that they're not in.
Right.
It's like, well, wait a minute. So then, not only all week long, right, he's updating that bracket every day, and it's like, well, I don't know, they got to win another one. Like, wait a minute.
Well, there's a lot of other
probably. Then you said 17. Then we got 18, and now we got 19. I mean, like, come on, enough's enough. LSU in that league, 17 wins, win a game at the tournament. Your top 25 in RPI, your top 5 in wins at 20 plus. And now they're top 20 RPI. But I'm saying after the Tuesday, they were top 25 RPI. They were 4th most in the country, I believe, in RPI 20-plus wins. As far as wins, top 50 teams in the country, 20 wins or more. Like the resume is what it is, man. I mean, you don't have to sweat out. This isn't UL Lafayette trying to make sure you win the conference tournament to host a regional. So I'm glad that it proved, the 13th seed proved that LSU did not have to win the Clay Moffitt game on Friday to get into a regional. They clearly were going to host without that win. So the thing that's a shocker is Ole Miss is in hosting as a 16th seed.
So let me ask you this. If LSU goes on and beats Vanderbilt, beats Ole Miss, where are they right now? Are they a top 8 national seed?
No, I don't think
Exactly.
LSU could ever get all the way
point.
to a
That's
top
my
8.
point. So to me, what is paramount is rest and get everybody home. Get everybody home. Get everybody ready, because you don't know how many games. It's a 4-team tournament, double elimination bracket. So you may have to play some games, and you want everybody ready. Everybody.
He's Joel Davis. I'm Ronnie Rantz. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back with more Sports Shorts presented by the Bears right after this.
Heater outages hurt everyone. Don't be a victim. Call Accutemp and schedule your maintenance check today.
If you're an avid sports fan, then you need to check out the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, located in historic downtown Natchitoches, next to the Chateau St. Denis Hotel and the Natchitoches Convention Center. The Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame is where the rich history of Louisiana sports is told through the pictures, artifacts, and by the legends themselves in video archives. Come to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame and Northwest Louisiana History Museum and visit a world-renowned architectural marvel. For more information and to purchase tickets to the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame events, visit lasportshall.com/purchase.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your vans. Vans for professionals. Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG, and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to...
When you come to Relief Windows, your experience starts here.
Or here.
Then we come to your home.
We measure twice.
And then we bring custom windows to your home.
We remove your old windows. Install your new windows.
Clean our mess.
And we make sure you're completely satisfied.
And all of this before you pay a dime. And at Relief Windows, our #1 product is customer satisfaction.
Relief Windows.
Heater outages hurt everyone. Don't be a victim. Call Accutemp and schedule your maintenance check today.
Can't get enough sports shorts? Tune into Sports Shorts TV on Cox HD Channel 1013 Mondays at 8, Tuesdays at 9, and ETEL Channel 4. That's 52 weeks a year to get educated on sports by the best. Joel Davis and Ronnie Rantz.
Welcome back, everybody, to Sports Shorts. Ronnie Rantz, Joel Davis. We're presented by LeBear's Casino. It is one of my top days of the year, man. I love the selection day for NCAA baseball. I know most people are more
You're not
March
even watching
Madness.
it right now.
Well, I mean, it's kind of over. I mean,
It's been over. That's true.
Kind of over.
I
as
thought
we
you might
tape here.
keep watching it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm good. I'm good.
You're
once
okay.
once they put the field up, I don't need to hear from the commissioner him say the same thing. You know, it's very difficult. We met. We had a lot of things to discuss. You know?
Yeah, I'm like that with the NFL draft. I know the feeling.
Yeah.
Like, I hate when I miss it. Like, if I miss it, I'm very depressed.
Well, at
least the first 2 or 3 innings.
March Madness selection is great. But for me,
That doesn't
college
do anything for
baseball, I just have a little more juice for it.
Sure.
Here's the drawback I have. Okay, LSU's NCAA Regional is going to have. I thought it was going to be Southern. They're as the 4 seed. LSU's hosting as the number 13 seed in the country. They are going to They're going to play Stony Brook in the first game, and then
everybody's like, "Ooh,
Stony Brook 2012."
Ooh, 8 guys drafted from that team. Don't think that's the same
center
team.
fielder played in the big leagues.
Right.
Arizona State and Southern Miss are on the other side of the bracket, and of course LSU wins. They'll play the winner of Arizona State and Southern Miss. And Coach, this is one of the tougher regionals that the Tigers have had.
We say that every year.
No, it really is
the toughest
First,
regional.
Arizona State's a blue blood,
Every year,
in a
same
conference
thing.
that is right there with the SEC.
I'm with you.
Southern Miss won their conference, the American regular season, lost in the finals.
Stony Brook won their championship.
I mean, Conference
Southern Miss won their tournament championship.
Is it American?
Arizona State. If you look at common opponents, I'm not worried about Arizona State. Really not. It's not.
You're not worried about Arizona State?
I'm not worried about
This is a team that gets superstar players.
I don't care.
They are in the Pac-12. They've been ranked.
They're
at
37
times.
and 17. But here's the key.
How many wins does LSU have?
But here's the key. Okay. What's their road record? 10 and 10. 10 and 10. 10 and 10. They're not very good on the road. Lost 10 games.
Where are you living?
10 and 10 on the road.
I get it. Have you seen LSU's road record?
Yeah, but they're not on the road. They're at home. That's the point. If they were going to Arizona State, I'd be concerned. They're not. Arizona State's coming here. They're on the road. They were 10 and 10. Not good.
Listen, this is one of the toughest regionals.
Of course.
LSU, Stony Brook.
When Austin Bain played, he was every year. He was in the toughest regional.
Stony Brook is a legitimate team. Stony Brook's a good team who obviously has a little bit of history on their side, right?
This is not the Stony Brook.
I understand this isn't 2012 and Chris Reed wasn't on that team.
They wouldn't even be in the tournament
but
without
the point is
that
they
tournament win.
They're coming in here thinking, hey, our brothers from another mother, they came in here and won 2 out of 3.
They won the national championship, bro.
They didn't win the national championship.
Well, like a year
Coastal
later.
Carolina. Just let me talk baseball.
That's the one. That's the one.
Stony
Stony Brook.
Scream
No,
and point
Stony
some
Brook.
fingers.
Stony
I'll
Brook.
handle the
That was a
baseball
bad one too. Now, if Coastal Carolina was coming in here, I'd be concerned.
Yeah. Stony Brook came in here and won a super regional.
I know what they did.
At the
I was there. I went to
first time
games
ever
then.
that happened, by the way.
What year was that?
2012. 2012.
Is there anybody you know that's really close to that game? Was in that game?
Was in that game?
Yeah, that played in that.
I mean, that would have been Gosman. That would have been Nola, maybe his freshman year. I mean, why? What do you want to talk about?
I was just curious.
Yeah, the point is that Stony Brook. You thought you were going to play Southern. I guarantee LSU would rather play Southern than Stony Brook. I don't care that Southern won't beat them. I know
they did.
They won over there on a midweek. Tigers were overlooking them. A guy came in there, dealed on them. Trust me, Southern coming in this time around will be a little different story.
This is the same reaction from you every year on this day. Toughest regional in the country. And I mean, I think it's a little bit because you're so connected.
When Bryant came, they felt pretty good. This is Arizona State and Southern Miss. By the way, Southern Miss travels well. There's going to be
Southern Miss lost to Arkansas. I think went 0-3 versus Arkansas. Southern Miss common opponents. They didn't play well against. They didn't do well against
their conference championship,
and that's probably why
they're nearby. They're going to have a gazillion people at the game.
They're jacked. They're
Arizona
excited.
State's in the second best conference in the country. Got a lot of tradition and history. They're not going to be intimidated at the environment. And Stony Brook is feeling good. Like, hey, we can go back there and relive those ghosts
glory
of the past.
days.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I'll be honest with you. It's all about LSU. What LSU are we going to get? Are we going to get the disinterested LSU team, or are we going to get the team that we saw early in the tournament, the SEC tournament, that really had a fire under their belly? And I mean, I think you got everything in front of you for LSU. Then if they can get through this, they go to Georgia. Perhaps if Georgia wins their
can you
their
say
regional.
that's the toughest road LSU's had to
I would rather go to
in
Georgia than Mississippi
regional?
State or Vanderbilt. I can tell you that right now.
Well, I'd rather play the Yankees than Vanderbilt, quite honestly. But
that's a good point.
But as far as you'd rather go to Georgia than Mississippi State.
Yeah.
LSU went to Mississippi State
I know.
and won 2 out of 3, and they always win in Starkville.
I know. I think that they've take advantage of all the opportunities they've had versus Mississippi State. I would rather.
Oh, you think law of averages?
Law of averages. Well, that's what baseball is, isn't it? It's a law of averages.
By the way, speaking of Vanderbilt, poor McNeese, huh? McNeese is going up to Vanderbilt. McNeese is taking on Indiana State in the first game. Actually, the Cowboys got a 3 seed. Ohio State is the 4 seed. So Ohio State plays Vanderbilt McNeese plays Indiana State, and then obviously it goes on from there. But happy for Justin Hill, former LSU player and coach. Justin Hill played for Skip and Smoke, and then I want to say it was a GA for Smoke or something like that. So they won their conference tournament. The Cowboys been playing well lately, going up to the toughest regional in the country because Vanderbilt, in my opinion, I haven't seen UCLA. So UCLA, we'll wait to see them, but Vanderbilt is sick. West Virginia hosting a regional is a shocker. Texas A&M is going to be the number 2 seed in that regional. Duke is 3. So Texas A&M is one of those teams that I feel like, they feel good. Look, if I'm going to go to a regional, I want to go to West Virginia. I don't want to go someplace else. Cliff Godwin, former LSU assistant at East Carolina, hosting a regional, and that's exciting for Cliff. Looking around, Mississippi State Regional, one of the more exciting ones. Southern, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
Southern lobbied all week long about they didn't want to come to Baton Rouge.
Right.
They wanted to go someplace else.
That.
They wanted to have the experience of travel.
That's exciting.
And staying in a hotel and all that.
It's exciting.
You want Starkville?
No.
I think if they pull, here's the thing. Carrick Jackson, love him. He's done a great job. Southern might be the best turnaround story, and it is the best turnaround story in the country. 9 wins a year ago, 30-plus wins this year, conference tournament, all that. Win the conference. I would love to poll the players. Which would you rather? Go to Mississippi State and play in a regional and stay in Starkville? Or would you rather go to the box and play in that regional at the box? Yes, I know you're sleeping in your own bed, but the Southern Jaguar Nation can find a way in.
So is there anybody in that organization that really feels like they're going to win a national championship? Do you think that there's anybody, even the coaching
to win
staff?
A national championship?
Yeah.
No, not
okay.
right now.
Do you think that?
Not at this
do you
point.
think that there's? I think that they have a chance.
They're saying all those things, but
sure,
they're not right now.
but truly believe it.
No.
Okay.
Not right now.
So if they don't believe it, the players don't believe. They don't have a. They know they don't have a chance, right? So, but let's go have as much fun as we possibly can and just see what happens. Yeah, I would rather go to Starkville as a player than go across town and play in a place that I've played before, that I see all the time, that people are going to be rooting for them and not us, even though we're right here. And I think that as a player, even as an assistant coach, yeah, I would rather go to Mississippi State just because I know we are not going to win a national championship. Let's experience this. We don't get to do this very often. Oh, matter of fact, send me to Arizona. Wherever else.
I get the Arizona play.
Anywhere.
I'm just saying,
anywhere,
you're
Ron.
gonna eat Piccadilly and Jackson, and you're gonna stay at a Hampton Inn in Starkville with a room without a view. I mean, is that really what you want? Or you can play at the box.
Yeah, I think it's fun.
Beat a team that you've already beaten. And by the way, win or lose, and you're not playing LSU, everybody's pulling for you. Your crowd gets in. The Tiger fans are pulling for you. It's a home game. I think if you want to go have the best chance of success, it's right here. It's not in Starkville.
I didn't
but
say
if you want
that.
to go eat, have the meal money, and go eat at a cafeteria, and that's fun, right? But it's not going to happen. Not going to happen. All right, Joel, we're going to let you go. This has been so entertaining.
By the way, Stony Brook,
toughest regional
it's ridiculous.
she's ever had.
Lost 2 out of 3 to my alma mater, the Lions, Southeastern Lions. Just letting you know. And guess where that game was? I think it was in Hammond. Not good travelers either. They don't travel well.
They did win one.
They won one, and I think it was 7-4. But they also lost.
By the way,
2-7.
When 2012,
and
just a reminder, in
8.
2012, when LSU lost the Super Regional Stony Brook, Stony Brook was a number 4 seed in the Miami Regional. They won the tournament in Miami,
They had 8
came over
guys
here,
drafted.
beat
8 guys
LSU,
drafted.
and Coach Maneri now says that they're a better team than we were in 2012.
Of course.
All right, we'll take a break. Sports Shorts presented by LeBears. When we come back, the Bain train will be with us next.
Heater outages hurt everyone. Don't be a victim. Call AccuTemp and schedule your maintenance check today.
If you're an avid sports fan, then you need to check out the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, located in historic downtown Natchitoches, next to the Chateau Saint Denis Hotel and the Natchitoches Convention Center. The Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame is where the rich history of Louisiana sports is told through the pictures, artifacts, and by the legends themselves in video archives. Come to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame and Northwest Louisiana History Museum and visit a world-renowned architectural marvel. For more information and to purchase tickets to the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame events, visit lasportshall.com/purchase.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your vans. Vans for professionals. Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG, and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to...
When you come to Relief Windows, your experience starts here.
Or here.
Then we come to your home.
We measure twice.
And then we bring custom windows to your home.
We remove your old windows. Install your new windows.
Clean our mess.
And we make sure you're completely satisfied.
And all of this before you pay a dime. And at Relief Windows, our #1 product is customer satisfaction.
Relief Windows.
Heater outages hurt everyone. Don't be a victim. Call AccuTemp and schedule your maintenance check today.
Can't get enough sports shorts? Tune into Sports Shorts TV on Cox HD Channel 1013 Mondays at 8, Tuesdays at 9, and ETEL Channel 4. That's 52 weeks a year to get educated on sports by the best. Joel Davis and Ronnie Rantz.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Shorts. Austin Bain sitting in with us, the Bain train, former LSU Tiger. A year ago led the SEC in doubles. Now, just like all of us, just an observer and a fan. What was your reaction? First off, before we get to the bracket, the Maneri Magic in Hoover. It's a living, breathing, real thing. It's unbelievable.
It really is. I mean, all the way from the long games that we've played over the years, because like even when I was there, I was on the team that had the record of the longest game played in the SEC tournament.
Which was what?
Against Florida, I want to say in 2016 or 17. Those 2 years mixed together, really rough years for Austin Bain. But yeah, no, it's just somehow LSU just does some really crazy and unbelievable things in the SEC tournament. Like, I mean, you saw a kickball game, like we talked about that. That's insane. But just different things happen, and it's just really magic.
And I know that there's not a real thing you can put your finger on, but as a former player who played 4 years at LSU and got to experience, the light switch get turned on for LSU baseball over in Hoover, what can you point to as to why LSU has really kind of dominated that tournament under Coach Maneri's tenure?
I think it's because of how much emphasis Coach Maneri puts on the tournament. Like when we go to win. Like a lot of teams go and they're like, oh, we're going to get some reps or whatever, and they don't really care about going that far. We go to win, so we place importance on that tournament. And I think it's different than what we're used to, where you play the same team 3 games in a row. Now you're playing one team, beating them, playing another team, and then you lose, then you play a different team. So you're always playing different competition, doing different scouting reports, and you have to kind of gauge that, and it's just everything's changing. So you actively have to be focused and like be ready to adapt throughout the whole thing.
I thought that the 2 wins Thursday and Friday, the kickball game against Auburn, and then also the Moffitt game and the 10-run rule on Friday, I thought those 2 wins were 2 of the more improbable wins in LSU baseball history. Forget the tournament. To to come back from 17 innings, most guys got 3-4 hours sleep.
Yeah.
And to be able to not only the sleep factor, but just to mentally flush the disappointment of losing that 17-inning game, because, I mean, whoever lost that game was going to be devastated.
Mm-hmm.
To be able to bounce back, it was incredible. I mean, I thought that and then to do it again when you were the biggest underdog in betting LSU history, plus 285, when the Tigers had their number 10 starter and not top 9 guys available versus an All-American pitcher. Like those two wins back-to-back were just so improbable.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think the aspect of not having enough sleep and then having that hangover after the game where you're like, we just put it all out there for 17 innings and then we lose. That's mentally, that's tough to kind of rebound and like kind of regroup and then go after it again. But I mean, that like they played awesome like throughout both of those games too. Like they really put themselves, so it was an improbable win like with the kickball and everything, but we had runners on second and third with no outs in that inning. So I mean, statistically, like we should score one, preferably 2 runs in that inning. So I think they kind of just sped it along with the kickball. And then you go to the state game, which State's unbelievable. They had JT Ginn, who JT Ginn has proven that he's going to be one of the best pitchers in the SEC in a year or two, and he's going to be a very, very high draft pick. But that just shows at this caliber of baseball how anything can go anyway. I mean, we had Clay Moffitt go out there, compete, did exactly what he needed to do, and got it to the next guy and kept us in the game. And then JT Ginn kind of just fell apart, and we took advantage of it. So that's the game of baseball, like everybody doing their own job and picking each other up.
That's the thing that's surprising is that Ginn, LSU's had good success against him the 2 times they faced him this year. The guy was 8-3, ERA just over 3, 217 batting average against, 20 more strikeouts than innings pitched. All the numbers were there. He's been dominant, but for whatever reason, LSU has kind of had his number this year. And yet Clay Moffitt did what you have to do when you have one of those long runs. You got to have somebody step up. Whether it was Gilbert a few years ago, Nolan Cain back in the day, guys step up that maybe weren't asked to in that role for most of the year, and they step up and do good things for you. And then as a pitcher, you know this, it's all about that chain, right? Don't break the chain. Hand the ball off to the next guy. You do your job. And LSU, who struggled with that at times this year, was outstanding in that game. So now the Tigers, as we know now, they're the 13th seed overall in the country. We also know now, it looks like they didn't even need that win on Friday against Mississippi State, because obviously that one win didn't boost them up to 13. So they were going to host a regional without the amazing victory on Friday. But were you surprised that they got up to 13?
I was. So, like, I had heard rumors of them getting to 14, which I was kind of surprised too, especially since I had heard as we were watching the last game and everything that they were talking like, we need this game to make top 16. And I didn't know. I figured that we were already in, so I was going into it like peace of mind, like if we do lose, it's okay. We'll save some arms. Like everybody will be healthy and coming back for the regional. But I was surprised that we got up to 13. I was expecting 16 to 14, anywhere in there. And honestly, I mean, it's like we talked earlier, it's going to be a tough regional at 13.
Last year, obviously, was a super tough regional. You go on the road to Oregon State. LSU kind of limped into the postseason, had some arm injuries. We knew Oregon State was a national champion type team, and they proved that and won the national title. This year, LSU's at home. But as far as home sub-regionals are concerned, this, in my opinion, seen them all, is one of the tougher top 4.
Yeah.
Because I thought Southern would come in. I thought geographically, if you look at all the brackets, the NCAA still geographically matches up teams. You see the winner of UCLA is going to take on Oregon State. You see them trying to keep things geographical. So it's not basketball where the money's not a factor and they send people all over.
Yeah.
Because of that geographical factor and the dollars and cents, I thought they would, and it had been 10 years since Southern was in a regional. I didn't think they'd get their way. They did get their way. They're going to Starkville to take on Mississippi State. I thought they would come here. Instead, you get a Stony Brook team who may not be better per se than Southern, but a team who's coming in here going, hey, we beat them before in our program's history. You know, they're not going to be as, oh my God, we're going to LSU, as much as they're excited to continue the legacy. And then, oh, by the way, Arizona State and Southern Miss, I mean, you got a conference champion in Southern Miss. You got a blue blood in Arizona State who's got, you know, big leaguers on their team. Southern Miss is going to have a ton of fans. Hattiesburg's nearby. So to me, this is a tough one.
Yeah, I'm so Stony Brook is honestly the least of my worries. They they had that one team in 2012, but if you look at the players and the leaders they had on that team, like I'm not familiar with the names, but I do know they had a lot of really high draft picks. They had
big leaguer and
big leaguers, exactly. So I mean, they had some leaders and some guys that they came in with confidence here. I don't think this Stony Brook team so much is going to do that. I think the harder of the two, Southern Miss, who's always pretty solid, and then you have Arizona State. You said blue blood. The history actually does mean something. It brings confidence to their team. So when they come over here, I'm thinking that Arizona State's going to be the team that's going to be the hardest to play against.
Well, as we tape this show, the brackets were just announced, so I'm kind of looking up a little bit to just try to give you a little bit of something on Stony Brook. And of course, as you would expect, Stony Brook's statistical online thing is archaic. So we're going to get there. But the Sea Wolves, as they're called, 31 and 21 overall, 15-9 in their conference. I'm trying to see if we've got a dude in there. There's a guy named Brett Clark who started 12 of 13 games for them this year, ERA under 4, and doesn't have a complete game to his credit. In 67 innings pitched, he's given up only 56 hits and has struck out 49 but walked 36. So, you know, decent numbers. He looks to be like one of their options as a starter. Look, we know, as Joel Davis mentioned earlier, Stony Brook's already been to Louisiana. They traditionally do come down to Louisiana. They've played series at Nicholls State. They've played at Southeastern. You know, when it's cold up north, they come down and play down here. So they're familiar with coming to the state. Obviously their program is familiar. Who does LSU pitch on Friday? What do you think they do? Do they go with a Cole Henry? What do you think?
Who's Eric Walker started the last series on Friday, right?
Right. He pitched on Saturday in relief. Cole Henry hasn't thrown since Tuesday. And I don't think Marceau would be an option. I think you hold Marceau probably to Saturday. I think you go Marceau on Saturday just because I think he's the hottest, best pitcher for LSU right now. You probably hold Walker to Sunday, and I think you go some kind of staff combination on against Stony Brook.
See, I would think that, but the way Coach Ranieri thinks is, look, anybody can beat anybody, and the last thing I want to do is go into the playoffs 0-1. So I wouldn't be surprised if we did get a Cole Henry or a Eric Walker on Friday. And so I think we need to start out winning game 1 and then kind of work our way from there. So, I mean, we need to win 3 to win, right? To win the regionals, right?
Right.
So I think it's probably going to be Eric Walker, Cole Henry, Landon Marceau.
So, I'm surprised you say Cole Henry in that second game because of his hasn't thrown a lot, you know, in the last month. Granted, he was the best pitcher for LSU prior to going on the shelf after the Florida game. I just don't know if they are confident enough in that, you know, 1.5 innings to say, okay, 10 days later, here's the ball, go get us 6-7 innings. I think they're going to ease him into it.
Yeah.
And that's why the thing about Stony Brook is I don't think they're seeing 93 with a hammer as much in their league. Eric Walker at 85, 87, they see that more often. They're going to be more comfortable against Walker than 93 against Henry with the breaking ball. And even if Henry can't give you beyond 5, at least it gets you off to that dominant start in theory for 4 or something.
Yeah.
And then by the time you go to the pen, hopefully you're up 4-0, right? And then you piecemeal it from there. But you know, this is the pickle that LSU's in. I mean, with some of the injuries they still have.
Yeah, but I mean, imagine how much. Like, let's say that I don't know what we've heard on Jaden Hill. If he's coming back, we'll be ready for a regional, super regional, maybe as a reliever.
But you're not going to get much out of Jaden.
You're not going to get what you had out of him at the beginning of the season. But just to have Cole Henry back is just like a huge weight off your shoulders. Because now, let's say Cole Henry finally gets back in shape and back to that level that he was at, because he showed some very good things in his outing. The only thing that stopped him was that missed pitch out that kind of started the snowball effect.
And the stuck ball in the glove.
Yeah. So, I mean, just crazy stuff. But we get Cole Henry back, we now have 3 guys that can pitch and be successful at very high level of baseball.
I would hope they're throwing Cole Henry in a bullpen today on Monday and then give him the ball on Friday and ask him to go 4. And if the pitch count's low, you get him to 5. If you win the weekend, now he gets you the ball day 1 at the Super Regional.
I do like
the
that.
following week,
like that.
and he's got a full week's rest. And then at that point, you take the gloves off and you hope he goes 6 or 7. You know.
Yeah.
He's Austin Bain. I'm Ronnie Rantz. We'll take a break. We come back. We'll wrap up Sports Shorts right after this.
Heater outages hurt everyone. Don't be a victim. Call AccuTemp and schedule your maintenance check today.
If you're an avid sports fan, then you need to check out the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, located in historic downtown Natchitoches, next to the Chateau Saint Denis Hotel and the Natchitoches Convention Center. The Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame is where the rich history of Louisiana sports is told through the pictures, artifacts, and by the legends themselves in video archives. Come to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame and Northwest Louisiana History Museum and visit a world-renowned architectural marvel. For more information and to purchase tickets to the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame events, visit lasportshall.com/purchase.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your vans. Vans for professionals. Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG, and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to...
When you come to Relief Windows, your experience starts here.
Or here.
Then we come to your home.
We measure twice.
And then we bring custom windows to your home.
We remove your old windows. Install your new windows.
Clean our mess.
And we make sure you're completely satisfied.
And all of this before you pay a dime. And at Relief Windows, our #1 product is customer satisfaction.
Relief Windows.
Heater outages hurt everyone. Don't be a victim. Call AccuTemp and schedule your maintenance check today.
Can't get enough sports shorts? Tune into Sports Shorts TV on Cox HD Channel 1013 Mondays at 8, Tuesdays at 9, and ETEL Channel 4. That's 52 weeks a year to get educated on sports by the best. Joel Davis and Ronnie Rantz.
Welcome, everybody. Ronnie Rantz, Austin Bain here with us in the studios. Sports Shorts presented by LaBerge Casino in Baton Rouge. And big congratulations to a guy that you played with at Dutchtown High. Ole Miss, then he went on to play at Ole Miss. Jacob Wagasback, the first Griffin to make the major leagues after all the great players that have come through there. Got called up by Toronto over the weekend. I know that's going to excite you.
No, it does for sure. I mean, and Jacob's one of those guys you want those things to happen to because he's such a good dude and he's got really good work ethic. So, I mean, I'm really proud of him and happy for him.
Big old donkey, too. 6'6", athletic.
And like most people that big aren't athletic.
Right.
And
right.
So that's the crazy thing.
Whoa.
Come on.
Easy.
There's no shots fired on that one.
Sports, just saying. But no, Jacob went on to Ole Miss and had some really nice moments over there. Good family, good people, and happy for him. Got called up to the Toronto Blue Jays, so check him out and follow him. Blue Jays, by the way, bringing up everybody.
Yeah.
They're going cheap.
They brought up Kevin Biggio, too, who I became friends with him once we played against Notre Dame in that road trip. And I think he had a home run on his major league debut, which is incredible. So,
the NCAA obviously trying to make sure that Omaha is not just the SEC tournament, because they are matching up everybody. We've got UCLA and Oregon State matched up on one side of the bracket. And if we can, Paul O'Neill, pull that up when you get a chance. UCLA and Oregon State. So obviously there's a part that, yes, they don't want the SEC dominance, and it's also geographical. If we look over here in the top left, UCLA, the number 1 seed, Oregon State, we know that only one team's going to come out of that side. Another geographical matchup, Oklahoma State and Texas Tech. And look, don't sleep on Texas Tech, man. We don't talk about them enough, but man, they've been one of the better teams in the country for probably the last 8 years.
Yeah, they're consistently always talked about and in that rotation towards the top. So, I mean, I haven't gotten to watch them play a lot, but I respect them definitely.
I think Texas Tech's actually going to be in that series next year. LSU goes over to Houston and Minute Maid, and I think they're one of the teams that the SEC is going to face next year. Arkansas and Ole Miss. I thought Ole Miss would be like a 16th seed, and they're not. You know, they would maybe face off with UCLA.
Yeah.
No, Ole Miss and Arkansas. So another making sure the SEC.
Whoever's putting these teams together is not a big fan of the SEC. They're really trying to limit the SEC's numbers.
By the way, in that Ole Miss regional, Clemson gets an invite. That's Grayson Bird, who's leading the team in hitting, leading Clemson in hitting. The former LSU Tiger, Paul
awesome.
Bird's son.
And you see the beard he has now?
He looks like a homeless person. Yeah. He's got the bright red beard he's been rocking for about 2-3 seasons. Leads the team in hitting. I think he leads the team in homers, having a really good year. That's awesome. We'll be keeping an eye on him. That's kind of exciting because Paul Bird and Mike Bianco are buddies. They play together and all that. Obviously, LSU, Georgia. I know you're disappointed. You thought LSU might be matched up with Mississippi State. Mm-hmm. This is not a good matchup, the Georgia matchup.
And honestly, the people that put all the teams together, I think what they kind of saw was that 2 years ago we played Mississippi State already in a super regional. So I think they
probably had a factor. Yeah,
they probably looked at that and they were like, well, let's move them up. I think that's why we got 13 and not 14, because I'm pretty sure if we were 14, we were probably playing State. But I have a feeling that had a lot to do with it, and so they pair us up with Georgia, which is another SEC on SEC matchup. But I definitely looked forward to the Mississippi State matchup more than the Georgia matchup.
I cannot believe in the Georgia regional that Florida State got in. Listen, it's Mike Martin's last year. He's got over 2,000 wins to his credit. He's the winningest coach in NCAA baseball history. I think they've been to a regional 43 years in a row or something like that. And look, it's a great story. He's a great man. All that said, Florida State, 36-21. And if you look at, I'm just surprised.
Yeah,
I'm surprised. I didn't. They're not in the SEC. The ACC is probably the third best conference this year. Didn't think they deserved to get in. I think it's a lifetime achievement award.
I think that goes down to politics too. That they just want him in his last season to kind of go out and not end without a playoff thing. Give him a legacy, more of a legacy at least. So.
We go over on the other side of the bracket. North Carolina is matched up with the Georgia Tech regional. Those two regionals have been matched up a lot. Tennessee in the North Carolina regional. The Volunteers, give them a lot of props. I mean, This is a team that has not been to an NCAA tournament in a while. They haven't looked very good. They've got a nice team, and that's a regional. I'm sure they don't mind going to as much.
Yeah, no, that's within their reach. They can definitely come out on top out of that regional. I can see it for sure.
Another regional, Auburn, going to just make the drive up. About an hour and a half to Georgia Tech. Coastal Carolina, who won the Sun Belt, they're headed there. As we move up the bracket a little bit, this one's interesting. You're going to have the Mississippi State winner taking on the Stanford winner. So I guess they couldn't geographically do them all.
Yeah.
So Stanford, UC Santa Barbara, who we thought might be hosting a regional in Las Vegas. That was kind of been talked about a while. Fresno State, Sac State, they're all lumped together. We know Southern is going to Mississippi State. Miami going to Mississippi State. That'll be a fun regional.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, I think it's awesome that they got the new dude, and so now they're playing the regional, and then they're a super regional national seed. So I think it's awesome that they're hosting that and they're going to enjoy it.
And another regional talk about Cliff Godwin. Did you know Cliff at all? Did you ever really met it? Yeah, he was assistant here in 07 and 08 at LSU. Great story. Good guy. It's his alma mater. He was a great player there. East Carolina been fantastic the last few years. Happy for Cliff Godwin to get another regional. They're matched up with Louisville, and he and McDonald, they know each other very well. McDonald with a long 10-year, $1 million a year contract over at Louisville. They've got a fantastic program, have for years. He was an assistant for Mike Bianco at Ole Miss. We move up the bracket. Vanderbilt, West Virginia.
Nobody wants to play Vanderbilt.
Nobody wants to play Vanderbilt. And look, if you're Texas A&M and you got to go on the road, I'll take a West Virginia regional.
Yeah, 100%. Like if I see my name next to West Virginia, I'm like, all right, let's go play.
Didn't happen at LSU last year.
No, it didn't.
So don't be surprised if Texas A&M comes out of that West Virginia regional and then they would go to Vanderbilt. Last year, Mississippi State went to Vanderbilt, pulled off the upset. I don't think that's happening this year, but trust me, Vanderbilt wants to see anybody in Nashville other than Texas A&M.
Yeah.
They don't want to see another SEC school. All right, so time for predictions. UCLA to number 1 seed, Vanderbilt number 2 seed. You can split in hairs when it comes to them. Is it a situation in your mind where everything goes chalk, or do you see an upset somewhere along the line?
Ooh. Off the top of my head, I'm trying to remember who plays who.
No, but I'm talking about from a national championship perspective.
National championship perspective, I don't know, because I'm always going to be LSU can make it no matter if they're number 64 or they're 1. So that's my view. But I definitely see Vanderbilt with how deep their staff is and how good their lineup is. I see them making a deep run. I think Mississippi State is going to have almost like smooth sailing to the World Series too. So I think we'll see State and Vanderbilt, especially later on down.
Obviously, you're pulling for the Tigers to make it to Omaha. If they do, it's going to be very difficult if they do, in fact, have to go to Georgia. Now, obviously, if Georgia gets upset, the Tigers would host a regional. I just don't see Florida State or FAU probably pulling that off. Granted, Georgia's one weakness, if there is one, is at times their lack of offense. But their arms are as good as anybody in America. That's the caveat.
Yeah, I don't know. They're not going to win a lot of 11 to 10 games, but they're not going to give up a lot of runs at all. So, I mean, that's going to be tough. And so I definitely see that we're going to be going to Georgia.
McNeese, the Cowboys, congratulations, Justin Hill's squad. They win the Southland Conference Tournament. First time in, I believe, 16 years since they won the tournament. They won the regular season championship a few years ago. They're going to Vanderbilt. Enjoy Nashville while you can. Go make sure you go see everything you need to see. They do have a winnable game in Indiana State in game 1. They're not the 4 seed. They're the 3 seed. So they got a chance to go over there, maybe win a game or 2. But I've seen McNeese a couple times this year, did a couple games on TV. Nice squad, like their team. They're not going to beat Vanderbilt. There's nobody in that regional that has any chance of beating Vanderbilt. But McNeese, can they go, have a nice experience and win a couple games? Absolutely. And I think at that point with their program, that's all you can hope for. LSU baseball, and let me know when we get to time-wise. LSU baseball, what's one of the keys in your opinion? Who's going to be the guy to watch or 2 to watch this weekend if they're going to do their job and win the regional?
From a pitching standpoint, it's got to be our starting pitching. Regionals, especially if it's only 3 games, we're going to be able to rely a lot on our relievers. But if our starting pitching can get us deep in games, that's going to be a big deal. So if we can get Cole Henry extended and Landon Marceau keeps doing what he has been doing, I think that's going to be what needs to kind of boost us up. And from the plate, Josh Smith is having an unbelievable season already. So Josh has to be the leader. Josh has to come out. Really, I think he was batting leadoff a little bit too, but early in the games, he needs to get us on the board early, get base runners. He needs to be double, stealing bases, doing everything, and we know he's going to be there defensively. And I'm anxious to see Daniel Cabrera bounce back from the SEC tournament because, I've talked to him about it. Everybody knows he didn't have the strongest of SEC tournaments, but that doesn't change what he's done over the course of 2 years.
As a guy who played in a regional at home as well as a regional on the road, what's the difference?
It's almost hard to explain, but it's such a big difference. It really is. And from the fact that you're a number 1 seed, so you don't have to face off against another number 1 seed that early. But, having the fans behind you and having a field you're comfortable with. Like last year we played on turf. We played on turf one time before that all season. That was Vanderbilt. So now we finally have a field we're used to. It's going to be in great condition. The fans are going to be with us and hopefully the weather too, but we're all going to be used to it. So it's going to be much easier for those guys to come out and produce.
The Saul Garza, I want to talk about him for a minute. His turnaround has been incredible. I mean, this is a guy that was hitting $1 something. Quite frankly, people were kind of whispering, man, this guy's a bust. He was supposed to hit in the middle of the lineup, be a dude, 23 homers a year ago, all that stuff. And all of a sudden it's looking like, oof, they might have to look in a different direction next year at the catcher position. All of a sudden he flips the switch. Guy's got his batting average up over 300 as we speak, and he has now become that guy in the middle of the lineup, that right-handed bat that they thought they had.
I don't even think it's flipping the switch. I think it's more settling his feet. I mean, he had a break where he didn't see live pitching. He didn't get to drop and block. He didn't get to move around or practice receiving really because he was injured. And I think once he came back, I mean, you can't jump right back into something and expect like the best. So I think he jumped back in. He struggled a little bit, but that shows how mentally tough he was, that he's able to get over that and then to do what he's doing now. And so I love mental toughness in any player, especially catchers. But to show that he has that and now he's kind of like settled in, he's comfortable, even receiving, looks comfortable in the box, he's digging in. I'm excited, and I'm very impressed with what he's done.
I'm excited, too, because I think he's a redshirt sophomore, or I know he's listed as a sophomore.
I think he's a true sophomore.
Yeah, okay, true sophomore. So that means, chances are, I mean, he might get popped in the draft, but he'll be back. He'll be back next year, and that's good. I mean, LSU, it'd be like the first time since really Savick, right, that you had that big offensive catcher returning. And you saw this type of senior year Cade had was incredible. Guy was, should have won the Johnny Bench Award, and
still ripped off.
Yeah,
it still pisses me off a little bit. That was my catcher.
Was it the Arizona State catcher?
It was.
I think it was the Arizona State catcher.
Yeah, that was rigged or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. Well, thanks so much, man, for taking the time. I know you'll be at the box eating, Janice's food. I'll see you there. I'll see you at the box.
Thank you.
All right. Bain Train joined us. Thanks to Joel Davis, who always, parts his wisdom on us. Go by Woodhaven Furniture Company in Baton Rouge and check out Joel Davis. Sports Shorts presented by the Bears. Can't wait till next Monday. We'll see where the Tigers are hopefully headed for the Super Regional.
Heater outages hurt everyone. Don't be a victim. Call AccuTemp and schedule your maintenance check today.
If you're an avid sports fan, then you need to check out the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, located in historic downtown Natchitoches, next to the Chateau St. Denis Hotel and the Natchitoches Convention Center. The Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame is where the rich history of Louisiana sports is told through the pictures, artifacts, and by the legends themselves in video archives. Come to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame and Northwest Louisiana History Museum and visit a world-renowned architectural marvel. For more information and to purchase tickets to the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame events, visit lasportshall.com/purchase.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your vans. Vans for professionals. Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG, and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to...
When you come to Relief Windows, your experience starts here.
Or here.
Then we come to your home.
We measure twice.
And then we bring custom windows to your home.
We remove your old windows. Install your new windows.
Clean our mess.
And we make sure you're completely satisfied.
And all of this before you pay a dime. And at Relief Windows, our #1 product is customer satisfaction.
Heater outages hurt everyone. Don't be a victim. Call AccuTemp and schedule your maintenance check today.